Have you ever wondered what would happen if you truly mastered your mind? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the key to overcoming every challenge and living a meaningful life. In previous lessons, we explored how Stoic philosophy brings inner peace and mental strength. Today, let's move forward with the remaining lessons in 15 life-changing lessons from Stoic philosophy, where timeless principles will help you build resilience, confidence, and the courage to face any obstacles in life. Don't miss this opportunity to complete the journey. These next lessons will not only transform the way you perceive the world, but also how you confront yourself. Watch until the end and share your thoughts. Your story might just inspire someone else. Number 7. Gratitude. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. Gratitude, in its simplest form, is the practice of appreciating what we already have. It's easy to get swept up in the endless pursuit of more success, more comfort, more possessions. But as the Stoics remind us, true contentment isn't found in acquiring what we lack, but in valuing what we already hold. Gratitude nurtures inner peace and transforms our perspective, even in the face of hardship. Life is filled with small, often overlooked blessings: the warmth of the morning sun, the laughter of a loved one, the quiet comfort of a favorite chair. These moments, though fleeting, are the threads that weave joy into our lives. Gratitude invites us to pause and acknowledge these everyday gifts, grounding us in the present and opening our hearts to the beauty of now. Think of the first sip of coffee on a cool morning, or the sound of rain tapping gently on the roof. These are not grand events, but they have the power to remind us that life's richness lies in its simplicity. By practicing gratitude for the small things, we cultivate a mindset that sees abundance where others see lack. Perhaps the greatest test of gratitude is finding it in life's challenges. It's natural to feel gratitude for comfort and joy, but can we also be grateful for adversity? The Stoics believed we could and should. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Challenges, while uncomfortable, are opportunities for growth. They teach us resilience, patience, and the value of perseverance. Consider a time when you faced a significant obstacle, perhaps a difficult career transition, a health setback, or a strained relationship. Looking back, how did that experience shape you? Did it make you stronger, wiser, or more compassionate? When we approach hardships with gratitude, we shift from viewing them as punishments to seeing them as teachers. This mindset doesn't diminish the pain or difficulty of the experience, but allows us to find meaning within it. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a practice that rewires our brains to focus on the positive. Studies in psychology support what the Stoics intuitively understood. Regularly practicing gratitude improves mental health, strengthens relationships, and increases overall happiness. Imagine starting each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. They don't need to be monumental. Perhaps it's the kindness of a neighbor, the beauty of a sunrise, or simply the fact that you woke up to see another day. This simple exercise trains your mind to seek out and recognize the good, even amidst life's challenges. Gratitude also creates a ripple effect. When we express our appreciation to others, we strengthen bonds and inspire reciprocal kindness. A heartfelt thank you can brighten someone's day and remind them of their own worth. The Stoics taught that peace comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering our internal response to it. Gratitude is a powerful tool for this mastery. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we free ourselves from envy, resentment, and dissatisfaction. Epictetus reminds us, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When we embrace this wisdom, we discover that we already have enough, that the abundance we seek is often right in front of us, waiting to be acknowledged. Even in difficult times, gratitude can anchor us. A cancer survivor once shared that, during treatment, she began a gratitude journal to remind herself of the good in her life. Writing down even the smallest blessings, like a kind word from a nurse or the taste of her favorite tea, helped her stay grounded and hopeful. Her story exemplifies the resilience gratitude can foster. Incorporating gratitude into daily life doesn't require grand gestures. Here are a few simple ways to start. 1. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. 2. Express thanks to others. Take a moment to thank someone, whether in person, through a note, or with a phone call. 3. Pause to reflect. When something good happens, however small, take a moment to savor it and say, "Thank you," silently to yourself. 4. Reframe challenges. When facing difficulties, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How might this challenge help me grow? Gratitude is not about ignoring life's difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the light, even when shadows are present. It's about recognizing that despite the imperfections of life, there is still much to appreciate. Gratitude is a gentle yet powerful reminder that we are alive, connected, and capable of finding meaning in all circumstances. As you reflect on your own life, ask yourself, what are the small joys you often overlook? What challenges have helped you grow in ways you didn't expect? And how might practicing gratitude shift your perspective, even in the face of hardship? Let the wisdom of the Stoics inspire you to cultivate a grateful heart. What would change in your life if you chose to see each moment, both the joyful and the difficult, as a gift? Share your reflections below. Your journey toward gratitude might inspire others to begin their own. Number 8. Forgiveness. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. Marcus Aurelius. Forgiveness is one of the most profound and liberating practices a person can embrace. For the Stoics, forgiveness is not about excusing wrongdoing or denying the harm caused by others. Instead, it is about freeing ourselves from the heavy burden of resentment and anger. When we forgive, we choose to reclaim our peace and regain control over our emotional well-being. Forgiveness, a path to freedom. Imagine carrying a heavy bag of stones on your shoulders. Each stone represents a grudge, a wrong done to you, or a moment of anger you've held on to. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable, draining your energy and clouding your thoughts. Forgiveness is the act of setting that bag down, choosing to lighten your load rather than letting it define your journey. Marcus Aurelius, a ruler who faced betrayal and criticism, understood this well. He reflected, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." By choosing not to mirror the anger or malice of others, we rise above their actions, demonstrating strength and wisdom. Forgiveness allows us to focus on our own growth and integrity rather than becoming consumed by the actions of others. Forgiveness is not weakness. Many people mistake forgiveness for weakness, believing it means condoning harmful behavior or accepting injustice. But the Stoics saw forgiveness as an act of courage. It takes immense strength to let go of bitterness and extend grace to those who have wronged us. Consider a situation where someone has hurt you deeply, a betrayal by a close friend, an unkind word from a colleague, or even a thoughtless action from a family member. The natural response might be to hold on to the hurt, replaying the incident in your mind and nurturing feelings of anger. But what does that achieve? The person who wronged you may move on, while you remain stuck in a cycle of pain. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring what happened. It means acknowledging the harm and choosing to release its hold on you. By forgiving, you reclaim your power, refusing to let another's actions dictate your emotional state. Forgiveness brings peace. The ultimate gift of forgiveness is the peace it brings. When we hold on to resentment, it acts as a poison, eroding our happiness and clouding our minds. Forgiveness, on the other hand, clears the path to inner calm. Epictetus wisely observed, "It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about those things." This perspective reminds us that it is not the wrong itself that causes us lasting pain, but our decision to dwell on it. Forgiveness helps us change our judgment, allowing us to let go and move forward. Imagine forgiving someone who has wronged you, not because they've apologized or changed their behavior, but because you value your peace more than your anger. That choice liberates you. It creates space for joy, healing, and a renewed sense of self. Forgiveness as strength. Forgiveness also builds emotional resilience. When we practice forgiveness, we strengthen our ability to handle life's inevitable conflicts and challenges. It teaches us to approach situations with empathy and clarity, rather than letting anger cloud our judgment. Take the example of Nelson Mandela, who, after 27 years of imprisonment, chose forgiveness over revenge. By forgiving his oppressors, he not only liberated himself from hatred, but also inspired a nation to pursue reconciliation and healing. His story is a powerful testament to the strength and transformative power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not always easy, especially when the wounds are deep, but the Stoics provide practical steps to cultivate this life-changing virtue. 1. Recognize the shared human condition. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that everyone we meet is flawed, just as we are. By understanding that people act out of ignorance, fear, or pain, we can begin to see their actions in a new light. Second shift. Your perspective. Ask yourself, is holding on to this anger serving me? How is it affecting my peace and happiness? Often, the realization that resentment harms us more than the person who wronged us is enough to spark forgiveness. 3. Focus on your growth. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It's an act of self-care that allows you to focus on your own well-being and progress rather than dwelling on the past. Practice empathy. Try to understand the motives or struggles behind someone's hurtful actions. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can make it easier to let go of anger. Forgiveness is not a one-time act. It is a practice, a choice we make every day. As you reflect on your own life, consider this. Who are you holding a grudge against? How has that anger affected your peace? Marcus Aurelius challenges us to begin each day with the understanding that we will encounter selfishness, betrayal, and ingratitude. But we also have the choice to rise above it. What would happen if you chose forgiveness instead of anger? How might it transform your relationships, your peace, and your perspective on life? Share your thoughts below. Your reflections might inspire someone else to embark on their own journey of forgiveness. Number 9. Contentment. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. In a culture that often equates happiness with accumulation of possessions, achievements, or status, the Stoics offer a refreshing perspective: contentment. True happiness, they teach us, does not come from having more but from appreciating what we already have. It's about recognizing the abundance in the present moment and freeing ourselves from the endless chase for more. Contentment is not complacency. It's not about settling for less or giving up on growth. Instead, it's a profound acceptance of life as it is, combined with gratitude for what we already possess. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most powerful men, understood this deeply. Despite his immense responsibilities and wealth, he reminded himself that happiness resides within, not in external circumstances. Imagine your life as it is today. Are there moments of beauty, comfort, or joy that go unnoticed because you're focused on what you lack? Perhaps it's the warmth of the morning sun, the laughter of a loved one, or the satisfaction of a day well lived. Contentment invites us to pause and savor these moments, grounding us in gratitude and bringing peace to our restless hearts. The pursuit of more, whether it's material wealth, social status, or personal achievements, can feel like an uphill climb with no summit. The Stoics encourage us to question this pursuit. What are we truly seeking? And is it something we don't already have within ourselves? Epictetus advised, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom reminds us that the more we desire, the more we risk becoming slaves to those desires. By letting go of unnecessary wants, we reclaim our freedom and discover that contentment has been within our reach all along. Think about a time when you achieved something you longed for: a promotion, a new home, or a coveted possession. How long did the satisfaction last before you began yearning for the next thing? Contentment teaches us to break this cycle by shifting our focus from what's missing to what's already present. Contentment doesn't come automatically. It's a practice, a choice we make each day. Here are a few ways to cultivate it. 1. Gratitude. Begin each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as a good cup of coffee or the support of a friend. Gratitude shifts our mindset from scarcity to abundance. 2. Focus on what you can control. The Stoics believed that much of life is beyond our control. Contentment grows when we focus on what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and let go of the rest. 3. Live. Simplifying your life doesn't mean giving up comfort, but recognizing that true joy often comes from experiences, relationships, and peace of mind, rather than material things. 4. Practice presence. Be fully present in each moment. When we stop worrying about the future or regretting the past, we find contentment in the now. At its heart, contentment is about peace. Peace with ourselves, our lives, and the world around us. When we stop striving for what we don't have and start appreciating what we do, we create space for joy and serenity. We realize that happiness is not a destination, but a state of mind, one that we can choose to cultivate every day. As you reflect on your own life, ask yourself, what blessings have you overlooked in your pursuit of more? How might your life change if you embraced contentment and celebrated the present moment? I leave you with this question. What is one thing in your life today that brings you joy and gratitude, and how can you honor it more fully? Share your thoughts below. Your reflections may inspire someone else to find contentment in their own life. Number 10. Generosity. He who gives should not remember, and he who receives should never forget. Generosity and equanimity, 2 timeless virtues of Stoicism, have the power to transform both the giver and the world around them. Together, they remind us of the profound strength in offering without expectation and remaining calm in the face of life's storms. These values not only enhance our personal well-being, but also serve as a beacon for fostering deeper human connections and resilience. Generosity is often associated with financial or material gifts, but the Stoics understood it as something far greater. True generosity encompasses sharing our time, knowledge, and compassion. It's the small, everyday acts, a listening ear for a friend, a word of encouragement to a stranger, or a willingness to mentor someone on their journey, that create ripples of goodness in the world. Seneca believed that giving is not about seeking recognition, but about fulfilling our nature as social beings. When we give freely, we let go of self-centeredness and tap into a deeper connection with others. Imagine offering advice to someone struggling, not for the sake of being seen as wise, but because you genuinely care. That act, unburdened by expectations, becomes a gift that uplifts both you and the recipient. In many ways, generosity liberates us. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, reminding us that we already possess enough to share. Each act of giving reinforces this mindset, teaching us that life's greatest treasures, love, kindness, and wisdom, multiply when shared. Number 11. Equanimity, the power of calm. Equanimity, or the ability to remain composed under pressure, is the Stoics' armor against life's turbulence. Marcus Aurelius, a ruler who faced relentless challenges, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Equanimity doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending hardships don't exist. Instead, it's about maintaining perspective and responding with reason rather than reaction. Life will always bring unexpected trials, a heated argument, a setback at work, or a personal loss. Equanimity empowers us to face these moments without being overwhelmed. Nelson Mandela is a modern symbol of equanimity. After 27 years of imprisonment, he emerged not with anger or vengeance, but with a calm resolve to unify his country. His ability to remain steady, even in the face of profound injustice, was a testament to the transformative power of inner peace. Imagine facing a moment of conflict, a disagreement with a loved one, or a frustrating delay. Equanimity invites you to pause, breathe, and choose your response wisely. This practice not only de-escalates tension, but also protects your inner peace. Generosity and equanimity are deeply intertwined. To give generously, we must approach others with a calm and open heart. And to maintain equanimity, we often rely on the perspective gained from acts of giving. Consider this: when you practice generosity, you shift your focus from yourself to others. This outward focus helps you navigate life's challenges with greater balance, as you're no longer consumed by personal worries or frustrations. Similarly, equanimity enables you to give without expecting anything in return, anchoring your generosity in sincerity and strength. For example, think of a time when you helped someone in need, perhaps offering your time to comfort a grieving friend or sharing your skills to support a community project. In those moments, did you feel burdened by life's difficulties, or did the act of giving bring clarity and purpose? Both virtues require practice, but their rewards are immense. Here are a few ways to nurture generosity and equanimity in daily life. 1. Start. Small generosity doesn't require grand gestures. Begin with small acts, offering a smile, a kind word, or a helping hand. Over time, these small efforts build a habit of giving. 2. Embrace gratitude. Reflect on the abundance in your life. Gratitude naturally leads to generosity, as we recognize how much we have to share. 3. Pause. Before reacting. When faced with a challenge, take a moment to breathe and assess the situation. This pause helps cultivate equanimity, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. 4. Seek opportunities to give. Look for ways to contribute, whether through volunteering, mentoring, or simply being present for others. 5. Practice self-compassion. Equanimity begins with how we treat ourselves. By cultivating kindness toward our own struggles, we develop the strength to extend the same grace to others. Generosity and equanimity not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire those around us. When we give without expectation and face challenges with calmness, we set an example for others to do the same. This ripple effect creates a culture of kindness and resilience, transforming not just individuals, but entire communities. Imagine a workplace where leaders model equanimity during stressful projects, or a family where generosity flows freely, strengthening bonds. These environments don't just happen, they are built by individuals who choose to embody these virtues. As you reflect on your own life, consider the ways generosity and equanimity have shaped your experiences. Have there been times when an act of giving brought unexpected joy, or a moment of calm helped you navigate a storm? How might these virtues deepen your relationships and bring greater peace to your days? Let Seneca's words guide you. No man loses less than he who gives generously. In giving, we gain clarity, connection, and purpose. I leave you with this question: how can you bring both generosity and equanimity into your life today, and what impact might these virtues have on your journey? Share your reflections below. They may inspire someone else to walk this path with you. Number 12. Mindful consumption. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. In a world that constantly urges us to consume more possessions, more information, more experiences, mindful consumption and kindness offer a path to genuine happiness and peace. These two virtues, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, remind us to live with intention, simplicity, and compassion. Together, they teach us to focus on what truly matters and foster a deeper connection to ourselves and others. What does it mean to consume mindfully? For the Stoics, it means discerning between what we need and what we merely desire. It's the practice of evaluating the things we allow into our lives, whether physical objects, media, or even relationships, and choosing only what aligns with our values and supports our well-being. Epictetus's wisdom challenges the modern belief that happiness comes from acquiring more. Instead, he suggests that freedom lies in needing less. Imagine walking into a cluttered room filled with items you rarely use or value. The space feels heavy, chaotic. Now picture a room that's simple, uncluttered, and filled only with things that serve a purpose or bring joy. The latter is a metaphor for mindful consumption. It's not about deprivation, but clarity. Mindful consumption extends beyond physical possessions to the information we take in. Today, we are inundated with news, social media, and advertisements vying for our attention. While staying informed is important, overloading ourselves with negativity or distractions can erode our mental health. By curating what we read, watch, and engage with, we protect our peace and focus on what truly enriches our minds. There's a quiet power in simplifying our lives. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Very little is needed to make a happy life." By focusing on the essentials, we free ourselves from the stress of excess and make room for deeper fulfillment. Consider this. When we buy less, we spend less time working to pay for things we don't truly need. When we consume less media, we have more time to connect with loved ones or pursue meaningful activities. Mindful consumption is not about austerity, but intentionality, choosing what adds value to our lives and letting go of the rest. Number 13. Kindness. Kindness, often seen as a simple virtue, holds extraordinary power. It's a force that transcends cultural, social, and personal barriers, connecting us through acts of empathy and care. Yet true kindness isn't limited to grand gestures. It's found in everyday moments, holding the door for a stranger, offering a listening ear, or simply smiling at someone who looks downcast. The Stoics understood that kindness is not just about how we treat others, but also how we treat ourselves. Epictetus taught that we must approach our own faults with patience and understanding, recognizing that self-compassion fuels our ability to extend the same grace to others. Kindness creates ripples that extend far beyond the initial act. Think of a time when someone showed you unexpected kindness. A friend who comforted you during a tough day, a stranger who let you go ahead in line, or a loved one who forgave a mistake. How did it make you feel? That feeling of warmth, of being seen and valued, often inspires us to pay it forward, creating a chain reaction of goodwill. Mother Teresa, a global icon of compassion, demonstrated the profound impact of simple, consistent acts of kindness. Her philosophy was clear. We cannot all do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Whether caring for the sick, feeding the hungry, or offering a kind word, her life reminds us that kindness doesn't require wealth or power, only the willingness to see others as deserving of dignity and care. While kindness is a powerful virtue, the Stoics also emphasize the importance of balance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This doesn't mean neglecting your own needs, rather, it's a call to act with discernment. True kindness doesn't mean allowing others to take advantage of us or neglecting our own well-being. In fact, being kind to yourself by setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and prioritizing your mental and physical health is a cornerstone of sustainable kindness. Imagine a friend who is always there for others, but never takes time for themselves. Over time, they might feel depleted, resentful, or overwhelmed. By practicing kindness toward oneself, they replenish their energy and maintain the capacity to support others genuinely. Mindful consumption and kindness are deeply interconnected. When we consume mindfully, we create space, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to be more present and compassionate. For instance, by spending less time scrolling through social media, we might have more time to call a friend or volunteer in our community. By decluttering our homes, we might find items to donate, spreading kindness to those in need. Similarly, acts of kindness often require us to consume less. Offering your time, attention, or empathy costs nothing but can mean everything to someone else. These virtues reinforce each other, creating a life that's both intentional and deeply connected. Integrating mindful consumption and kindness into daily life doesn't require drastic changes. Small, consistent steps can create profound shifts. 1. Pause. Before acquiring. Before buying or consuming, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it add value to my life or distract me from what's important? 2. Curate your inputs. Limit exposure to media or environments that drain your energy. Instead, seek content that uplifts, educates, or inspires. 3. Perform daily acts of kindness. Make it a habit to do one kind thing each day, whether for someone else or yourself. These small actions build a foundation of compassion. 4. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is the root of both mindful consumption and kindness. By appreciating what you have, you're less likely to overconsume and more likely to share your abundance with others. 5. Reflect on your impact. At the end of each day, consider how your choices, both in consumption and interaction, aligned with your values. This reflection strengthens your commitment to living with intention. As you reflect on these principles, think about how they might transform your own life. What would happen if you consumed less but appreciated more? If you practiced kindness not just toward others, but also toward yourself? Epictetus reminds us that happiness comes not from external things, but from the way we choose to live. What is one small step you can take today to consume more mindfully and spread kindness freely? Share your thoughts below. Your journey might inspire someone else to take their first step toward a more intentional and compassionate life. Number 14. Self-compassion. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. In a world often consumed by appearances and comparisons, self-compassion stands as an act of quiet rebellion. It asks us to step away from the relentless judgment we impose upon ourselves and others, to recognize that beneath the surface of every life lies a struggle often unseen. This philosophy, rooted deeply in Stoicism, reminds us that true strength is not about being unbreakable, but about embracing our humanity with grace and understanding. Self-compassion is not indulgence, it is liberation. When we forgive ourselves for mistakes, when we accept our flaws not as failures, but as part of the human condition, we free ourselves from the weight of perfectionism. The Stoics understood this intimately. Epictetus taught, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them." By reframing our inner dialogue, we can shift from harsh criticism to kind acceptance. This shift is transformative, not only for our relationship with ourselves, but for how we engage with the world around us. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with self-doubt, regret, and the need for constant validation. Each step feels harder, every uphill climb insurmountable. Self-compassion is the act of setting that backpack down. It doesn't mean the challenges of life disappear, it means we face them with greater clarity and less burden. Consider this: every person you encounter is fighting a battle you cannot see. The colleague who seems distant, the friend who cancels plans, even the stranger who cuts you off in traffic, each is navigating their own maze of fears, losses, and hopes. When we extend compassion to ourselves, we cultivate the capacity to extend it to others. It is a ripple effect, one that fosters connection and reduces unnecessary conflict. Let's be honest, practicing self-compassion is not always easy. In a culture that equates self-worth with productivity and outward success, gentleness with oneself can feel counterintuitive. But it is precisely this gentleness that strengthens us. It allows us to pause, reflect, and grow without the chains of self-condemnation. One powerful practice is to treat yourself as you would a dear friend. When a friend comes to you, burdened by a mistake or failure, you don't berate them or magnify their shortcomings. Instead, you listen, offer encouragement, and remind them of their worth. Why then do we find it so hard to extend this same kindness inward? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By nurturing self-compassion, we take control of our internal narrative. We stop letting external pressures dictate our sense of value and start living in alignment with our inner truth. As you move through life, remember that self-compassion is not about excusing bad behavior or avoiding responsibility. It is about acknowledging that to be human is to err and to grow. It is about balancing accountability with understanding, recognizing that our worth is not diminished by our imperfections, but enriched by how we choose to navigate them. So, I invite you to pause and reflect. When was the last time you offered yourself the same grace and understanding you readily extend to others? How might your life change if you replaced judgment with compassion, both for yourself and for those around you? Number 15. Inner peace. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In a chaotic and unpredictable world, the pursuit of inner peace often feels like chasing the wind. Yet, the wisdom of Stoicism offers a radical truth. Peace is not found by avoiding adversity, but by embracing it with a calm and controlled mind. It is not the storm that defines us, but how we stand within it. Inner peace begins with acceptance. Acceptance is not resignation. It is the courage to face reality as it is, without denial or distortion. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When we stop fighting against what is beyond our control, we conserve energy for what truly matters, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions. Consider the moments in your life when chaos seemed overwhelming. Perhaps it was a heated argument, a sudden job loss, or even the daily grind of balancing responsibilities. In those moments, did resistance to the situation help, or did it amplify your stress? Acceptance does not mean complacency. It means acknowledging the reality of the present while choosing how to respond with intention and clarity. To cultivate inner peace, one must learn to master their mindset. Imagine a sailor navigating rough seas. The waves are uncontrollable, but the sailor's skill in steering the ship determines whether they reach the shore safely. Similarly, our reactions, not external events, shape the quality of our lives. When we develop the discipline to respond with calmness instead of reacting impulsively, we unlock a profound sense of tranquility. Stoicism teaches us to separate what is within our control from what is not. This mental clarity serves as a compass, guiding us through life's storms without being consumed by them. When faced with criticism, for example, we cannot control the opinions of others, but we can choose not to let their words disrupt our peace. When dealing with setbacks, we cannot undo what has happened, but we can decide how to move forward with resilience. This shift in perspective requires intentional practice. Start by observing your thoughts when faced with challenges. Are you focusing on what is beyond your control? Redirect your energy toward what you can influence, your mindset and actions. Over time, this habit builds a mental fortress, one that shields your inner calm from the chaos around you. The power of this philosophy lies in its practicality. You don't need to retreat to a mountaintop to find inner peace. It can be cultivated in the midst of daily life. Take a moment to reflect on a common source of stress in your day. Traffic jams, for instance. Most of us react with frustration, honking horns, and clenched fists. But what if instead you use that time to breathe deeply, listen to uplifting music, or simply observe your surroundings? By reframing the experience, you transform an annoyance into an opportunity for calm. The true essence of inner peace is not in eliminating external chaos, but in finding stillness within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This inner sanctuary is always available, but accessing it requires deliberate effort. Stoic practices such as journaling, mindfulness, and gratitude can help anchor you in peace. Journaling allows you to process emotions and gain perspective. Mindfulness helps you remain present, reducing anxiety about the future or regret over the past. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant in your life. Inner peace is not a destination, it is a way of being. It does not come from a life devoid of hardship, but from a mind equipped to face it. When we align our thoughts with reality and approach challenges with calm determination, peace becomes not just a possibility, but a practice. So I ask you, What would your life look like if you chose to embrace each challenge as an opportunity to cultivate inner peace? How might your world transform if, instead of resisting the storm, you learn to stand steadfast within it? Respect from others begins with self-respect. By embracing these 15 Stoic lessons, you can cultivate a strong, unshakable spirit that shields you from harm and earns the respect of the world around you. Your journey toward inner strength starts with one choice: to value yourself. If you found these insights meaningful, subscribe to our channel for more wisdom to empower your life. Share this video with someone who could benefit from these timeless lessons, and let us know in the comments which Stoic principle resonated with you the most. Together, let's build a stronger, more resilient community.